Happy Sunday. Thank you for joining us again for our early Sunday morning start sit show. I am Dave Kluge. I'm here with Eric from the Pros vs. Joes charity, and I'm here with Kyra from Club Fantasy Football. Wanted to give you guys a reminder that in 2.5 hours, we are going to have our injury report and our other start sit show with Chase, Adam, and Steph. So be sure to tune in for that. If you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, Twitter, you can answer your questions. And the best thing about this show is we don't ignore any questions. We're going to get to every single question that comes through today. So if you've got any questions that you need to help get through your semifinals and into the finals next week, be sure to answer. Also wanted to remind you to come prop up at Thrive Fantasy this season. Thrive Fantasy is a daily fantasy sports app for player props. They have completely eliminated the need to do countless hours of research because they only ask you about the top tier athletes in their respective sports. Thrive has awarded over $1.75 million in prizes since launching in 2018, and they guarantee $75,000 every single week. Use promo code The Circle when you sign up today, and you will receive an instant match bonus up to $50 on your first deposit of $20 or more. Wanted to remind you to keep firing those questions off. I already see some coming in, and we will get to all of those. But before we start answering your questions, let me throw this over to Eric real quickly. Eric is running the charity Pros vs. Joes, which I'm sure you've seen all over Twitter. And Eric, why don't you let us know what's going on with that?
Yeah. So Pros with Joes, we're in our first year in existence this year. We strung it together a few weeks before the season kicked off. And in short, what we're doing is we give everyday fantasy football players the chance to co-manage and co-own a team with the fantasy expert or analyst that they know and trust. So we kind of think about it as almost like a masterclass in fantasy football. They get to ride shotgun right along with the people that they follow and the people whose insights they trust. And the best thing of all of it is that it all goes to charity. So we raise money in two ways. We raffle off our pros for an entrance into the league. That's how we raise money in the preseason. And then during the season, we have a giant sweepstakes where people who donate will be entered to win a spot in the league next year, all kinds of premium subs, all kinds of merch, autographed memorabilia, gift cards, guest spots on podcasts, you name it, right? We're giving away a ton of cool stuff to those that donate, and that money ultimately goes to our champion. So we're on to the semis. We've got 4 pros left. Whoever wins the championship for the league, that their charity, I should say, is who that fundraiser goes to. So if you want to get involved, you can check us out on Twitter. We're at Charity Pros Joes. Or if you want to donate and get entered to win, you can head to our donor center. It's proswithjoes.rallyyup.com/trophy.
Awesome. Well, I am really looking forward to seeing what you guys can do next year in your second year here. Also, wanted to remind you to keep firing off those questions. We've already got a couple coming through right here, and that's what this show is really all about. So we can't wait to get to all of those and answer your questions for the semifinals this week. Now, Kyra, why don't you let us know where we can find you, where you're writing, any podcasts you're doing, anything like that? Would love to hear it.
Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet because I know we want to get to those. I'm a rookie amongst vets here for you guys. I just started writing this year with Club Fantasy Football. I do a DFS article over there where I pick value plays. I can't give you guys the obvious, the Dalvin Cooks, the Patrick Mahomes. They don't come too cheap, so I try to find those cheap guys that can put up those kind of numbers. I write that article. It goes out every Saturday. You could also find me on Twitter at PHFantasyFF. Fantasy FF Kyra with a PH for fantasy to go along with my Philly origin. So.
Love it. Well, let's dive in here because this first question that we got from Jamie is one that frankly is just kind of mind blowing to even see this. Had you seen, before the season that you'd be choosing between a first round rookie on the Rams and a undrafted rookie on the Jaguars, it's kind of unbelievable that we're seeing this here. But this is a great question. James Robinson has been just stellar all year. I believe he's 70 yards away from setting the record for most rushing yards by an undrafted rookie. And then we've got a Cam Akers, who has just been on a tear, saw 31 touches last week and just absolutely pummeled the Patriots. So, Eric, why don't you start us off here? Between James Robinson and Cam Akers, who would you start this week?
Yeah, it's super close. I've got these guys right next to each other on my rankings. For me, it's James Robinson. There are really two considerations there. One, is really the volume, right? We're seeing a lot of workload for Cam Akers over these last 2 weeks, but Sean McVay has shown in his offense that he's real quick to go back to the other hot hand running back or to shift over and focus on the passing game. And with James Robinson, that's just not the case. He's averaging about 22 touches a game. It seems to be game script agnostic. He's still getting carries. He's still getting looks out of the backfield, even in games where they're down big. So for me, I tend to err on the side of the safer play, and that's the volume with James Robinson. The second consideration is the matchup for the Rams, right? The Jets are the laughingstock of the league. Sorry, Jets fans out there. But the way that you attack them is against that pass defense. Their run defense is about average, whereas their pass defense is terrible. So I expect today's game with the Rams to be much greater emphasis on the pass game and a little bit less work for Cam Akers. So give me Robinson of the two.
That guy's just popped off for a quick second there. That was a complete mistake.
I thought we were about to have to take this show over. Like, oh man, I wasn't ready for that.
I actually just realized I just realized that we actually streamed to the wrong Facebook page, which is why we aren't getting nearly as many questions through as possible. So I'm going to hop off real quickly, send another. This is going to Chase's personal Facebook page rather than the 10,000 plus viewers that we expected on Facebook.
Yeah.
So
sorry, Chase's friends.
We're going to hop back on in just a couple minutes. All right.
All right, sounds good.